Okay, welcome to the second lesson of our rune class. By now you should have been working the last 2 weeks on learning the first Aett of the runes and drilling through your flashcards and memorizing the key words that we gave you for each of those 8 runes. So this week we're going to be learning the next 8 runes, or Hagal's Aett as it is often referred to. Some people even refer to it as Heimdall's Aett. So again, you will be wanting to make flashcards or make notations in your journal or notebook that you're using for this class. I do highly recommend that you do at least make the flashcards so you can do the drilling exercises. Okay, our first rune, which you'll see here on the screen, is Hagal's, or Hagalaz. This is the H rune. The 3 key words that you're going to want to write down for this particular rune is crisis, stress, and storms. This rune does deal with crises and storms that come up in life, and it is often used to represent a hailstorm. So a hailstorm is in, balls of ice falling to the ground. They can do a lot of damage, but they're also very healing to the planet. As they melt, they do become water and nurture the planet. But we'll be talking about that more in detail when we go into each rune. The next rune on the screen is Nadiz, the N rune. The 3 key words for this rune are needs, tests, and ordeals. This is actually one of my favorite runes, as it does let me know that I'm about to face some challenge in my life, something that I need to do, something I need to pursue. And it is true. It can be a rough patch. The next rune is Isa, the I rune. The 3 key words for this rune are going to be concentration, stillness, silence, and ice. This rune, actually, the Isa does actually mean ice, and when we're talking about concentration, stillness, and silence, think of something encased or frozen in ice, just the silence of an ice field or a tundra. The next rune that you'll need to write down is Yara, the J rune. The key words for this rune are good harvest, cycles, and passage of time. Looking at this rune, you can easily see that it looks very similar to a pinwheel in motion. And it does represent that passage of time, the passage of a year, a solar year, the passage of time from harvest to harvest, natural cycles in life. The next rune is Iwaz. The letters for this rune are EI, so you'll be making that EI sound with this rune, or it can be used to represent the letters E and I when writing. The key words for this rune are the world tree, life and death, and protection. This is actually a pretty important rune, and the mysteries of this rune, as you'll learn later in this class, go really deep. But these are the key words you're going to want to focus on, because the world tree, life and death, these are very important aspects, because life and death are intertwined in a way that most people today really try to separate these very drastically. But they're not as separate as one might think. In fact, they're part of the same. And of course, protection. We can all use a good protection rune. The next rune is Pertho, the P rune. The key words for this are chance, synchronicity, luck, and fate. Now, when we're talking about chance and luck and fate, you are looking at odds. Fate is what has been dealt to you. Luck is how you can affect the random events in your life. But you also got to understand that fate is something that, to Nordic culture, is something you could actually shape and forge for yourself. And that is something we will talk a little bit about in this class. There were 2 ideals of fate. There's the fate you're born with and the fate that you forge for yourself. And this rune really is one of those that allows you to forge your own fate. or cast your own fate into the lots and into the winds. But it also does speak about those synchronicities in life, things that just link up as you progress, and that creates an outcome, and it helps you to see those synchronicities. The next rune is Elhaz, the Z rune. The key words for this rune are communication, danger, and protection. This rune is also sometimes referred to as Algiz, so you may see this rune listed under that name as well. Be aware of that when you're doing your research. And the final rune in this Aett is Sowilo, the S rune. The key words for this rune are goals, good counsel, success, and clarity. This rune also does associate and deal with the sun. Okay, now that you've got those wrote down and you've got the notes taken, I want you to be sure to make more flashcards to complete another 8 flashcards, and I want you to add that to the previous flashcards. So I don't want you just working with these 8 over the next 2 weeks. I want you to continue working with the previous 8 runes that we learned, but add these into your drill exercise. This way you are going to continue learning these, but you're also going to keep a fresh memory of the old ones, and you're going to start building a whole set of runes in this way. Now, by this time, if you have purchased a set of runes and you want to do your drills using the runes, by all means do it. In fact, the sooner you can get away from just the flashcards, the better. So what I generally recommend for this is the first day or two, do 3 drill cycles where you drill through this Aett 3 times, just this Aett, just these 8 runes. Then go back and drill through all 16 runes that we have now gone over, and continue to do that every day. After the 3rd day though, I would try to just drill all 16 start to finish, and really work on getting these runes down, understanding their individual names, and understanding those key words that are associated with them. Now, you might be asking, Drake, what do these key words really mean? How would I utilize these in spell work or in meditations? I do promise you we will be getting to that. Right now, the focus is on learning these key words and learning the runes, so that when we get there, you're ready to jump in and really start making those changes with your rune readings and your rune magic. Okay, so stay with me. I know it sounds a little too simple, a little too easy, but I promise we are getting into the good stuff. So spend the next 2 weeks working and doing your drills, making notes, and do feel free to meditate on these keywords as well. And like I said, sit down, meditate with the rune, focus on those keywords to help you memorize it. You may find a great deal of insight and wisdom will be delivered to you through that. All right, until the next lesson, focus on your homework, make sure you're doing it daily, and I will see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.